This elite podcasting here. Ain't nobody better. Look. Yeah. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining the mind. If you feel it, our opinions is great. When everything we moving now with the state, turn us on. If the feeling is right, every opinion now comes from the heart. No time we move with a part. We in the radio, it's wrestling. Time's aggression. Here is the feeling in the proof. Get the lesson. And if you want to prove it to you now, here's the feeling in the time and everything that we did. Listen to the senators connecting it. Moving on everything that's pronouncing it. Everything we did in the time now with the testament. Here is the feeling when we live on the stage. And everything we do, turning the page. Nobody does it like us. The feeling when we move, we are excited. Elite podcasting. I know you like it. Yeah, the bullet cast. Fearless. Yeah, the bullet cast. Fearless. The bullet cast. Fearless. Elite podcasting. We are. The bullet cast now. Fearless. The bullet cast now. Fearless.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the Microphone Messiah. I am joined by Brandon Tanguma and Marlee. What's going on?
What it do, baby?
Oh, Brandon, the energy. That's
gotta bring the boom. Like number one wrestler of all time, according to CageMatch.com, AJ.
I did see that.
Big boom, AJ.
Big boom, AJ.
Who's that? And then the internet, or then the Cage Match mods got angry because people can't have fun on the internet because Cage Match is a very serious site and a very serious database that we can't have fun and make the joke meme wrestler guy from the internet who eats double chunk chocolate cookies the number one wrestler of all time over, Masawa and, all the gods over there.
The Costco guys.
The Costco guys. I still don't know who they are, but I'm very intrigued.
Okay.
After this number one on Cage Match scenario.
So how long have they been doing this Costco thing? Do we know?
They've only been around for at least popular wise for 4 to 6 months now. So you guys are a little behind the times.
I'm very behind on the times. I'm very behind on everything.
All right, we're gonna have to get these guys on the show. I'm trying to figure it out. WWE ID is going crazy.
I just like to put my notice in. Just like I get first dibs if we ever get a Jordan Grace interview, I would like first dibs on a Costco guys interview.
Priorities.
I mean, we'll see. I already did the Jordan Grace interview. I forgot to tell you. It dropped.
Oh.
No, I'm just playing.
I'm just
playing. But yeah, WWE ID is going crazy. I mean, we talked about it last week, and then boom, people just getting prospected left and right. Brandon, can you read off the list?
Yes, I can. It's quite a lengthy list as well. I know they tease some people on Twitter, but we have the full list thus far. We have the male talent. We have Bryce Donovan from Wrestling Open. We got Cold Brew Cappuccino Jones, which all I could think about is just Taz, because he just says Jones after everything. Ice Williams, It's Gale, Cartwheel Jack Summit, Marcus Mathers, real life action figure Gale, Sam Hardaway Halloway, Sean Legacy, and then 2 female talents of Zeta Steel and the petite powerhouse Zara Zacher.
Yes, I know a couple of them. Shout out Zara Zacher, West Coast Pro Women's Champion. Should be defending her title, I believe, in January at the Stateroom. Jack Cartwheel, now Jack Summit. Big congrats to the homie, bro. I love Jackson. Great guy. We saw him at GCW, Marlee and I. Actually, he'll be wrestling this weekend out here in NorCal. Go over to SPW and check him out. Happy for him. And then Ice Williams, that's a homie I don't see that often, part of the faction known as Lights Camera Faction. But yeah, congrats to everybody that's getting ID'd, man. This is fantastic. You love to see it.
Exciting time for the indies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, still relatively early on in the process, so we don't know what exactly all this entails, how much WWE is involved, whether behind the scenes financially, training them, just opening doors and allowing them to just go and train wherever they want. So still early in the process, but still intriguing to see what will happen in the future.
Absolutely. Today is the 19-year anniversary of the passing of Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, beloved as can be, never a bad thing said about the guy. here we are all these years later. What are our thoughts? What are I mean, obviously we know the thoughts, but like, do you remember the day that it happened and the feelings, Brandon?
I mean, I was thinking about it today because I saw it on Twitter, and I was wondering what exactly how I because it happened Sunday, right? And then it happened, and then they had the Raw the next day to pay tribute. And so I'm trying to remember exactly because obviously this is 19 years ago, so that's 2005. I mean, the internet was kind of a thing, but I was 11, so I didn't like was not in on the dirt sheets and all that stuff. But I feel like I found out like I knew somehow like in between then and Raw, and it was like obviously shocking and it was very sad. And like at that point, Eddie Guerrero, I mean, he wasn't like the tippy top guy like he was back in 2004, but he was still a fan favorite. And the No Way Out and at the Cow Palace, San Francisco, is still one of my like favorite memories, or not memories, but like one of my favorite times of him actually winning. And it was it sucked. Like Eddie Guerrero was definitely I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, he's my favorite and I was like crying when he died, but now looking back 20 years later, he's definitely, I appreciate how good of a wrestler he was and how he was able to take being undersized from a big time family and to kind of take all the stuff and all the hardships he had, obviously with his and he also made me read a book because I think I read his book in middle school too. So that's how I like the guy, because I read his book. Him, Dana Bryan, and AJ all made me read books.
There you go, Marley. Were you watching wrestling at this time, or I mean, it's '05.
No, yeah, no, this was pre my entry into WWE, but I was aware of it because of my cousins. But after the fact, learning of Eddie and going back to watch his old matches, I can appreciate him for what he contributed to the business, especially the Halloween Havoc match with him and Ray.
Yes,
That's the one. But yeah, no, Eddie was definitely before my time. I was not watching.
it's okay. I mean, yeah, Halloween Havoc '97. That's always something like that to go talked about along with the Cow Palace and him beating Brock for the title. Yeah, man, just watching a lot of Eddie clips today and on Twitter and IG and all over social media. I mean, I remember that day. The first like famous person death to hit me. Because I watched wrestling religiously at that point in time, and when Eddie was on, my friends and I we'd be like messing around like wrestling each other while wrestling was on. But when Eddie was on, we shut up and we watched. And just a phenomenal talent, man. Just still all the work stands up till this day. Just truly, truly one of the best to ever do it. Thank you, Eddie. Viva La Raza, forever in our hearts. Let's get into the fan mail today. We do have fan mail. Shout out to the Hall of Famer and Brightest Day X.
Mr. X. Good day.
We all saw it coming a mile away, but I still got feel seeing the OGs putting up the one. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. How do you feel about Mercedes Monet's run so far in AEW? Oh, Brandon, you're the AEW correspondent.
I am the AEW correspondent, and I mean, I would say it has to be a huge letdown. I mean, the women's division as a whole in AEW is still not that great. I think there's like individual talents that are really good, but like collectively, they still haven't like put it all together. And I mean, Mercedes Monet is like by far their biggest women's star they have, and yet she's just stuck in the mid card of the women's division. So it's like almost the mid card of the mid card. And I mean, like she hasn't really done anything there. And it's just kind of, it's what happens with AEW all the time. You get the big name, new toy, and then they just kind of fade in the background. And, she's been a consistent person on AEW and she's getting TV time. She's doing things, but just nothing is clicking and nothing is like super intriguing. And even like the matches, like her last good match, I would say, like really good match would be like the Willow match and the Stephanie Vakir match. And that was how many months ago now at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think needs to happen?
I
She
mean,
needs a solid challenger for
yeah,
one.
I mean, it got off to a rocky start with her being a face when clearly she should have been a heel the entire time. But I don't know. Like at this point, I'm kind of like, well, we'll talk about some other AEW people that maybe I'm selling stock on that I was once very high on, and they were also a
Selling
very big
stock.
signing. Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Marley, do you have any thoughts on that?
She's just giving me the same energy that she did when she was in WWE. She just limited by her booking and where she is. Because if she was in the top, like the star that she's supposed to be, she could be doing so much more. And again, she does need a solid challenger because mid card is what it is, but there's not enough. They don't build up enough women stars for Mercedes to have an equal and be the wrestler and personality that she could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I mean, I wouldn't say she's still kind of like the way she was in WWE because I mean, obviously, like she felt bigger in WWE and everything like that. But
I'll be honest. When's the last time she felt like a big deal? Like I think her debut in New Japan was a big deal,
the match we were at, yeah,
and like when she was in NXT doing that run, the match with Bayley and stuff. But like her whole WWE run, like yes, there might have been moments, but she was never like the one. She was never, like there was Becky Lynch, Charlotte, kind of. You know how much I love Charlotte.
I mean, I'd say like her and Bayley during the pandemic when they were just on everything. They were just on everything, But yeah, I think the last time I feel like she felt like a big deal was probably that match with Kyrie Zane out here in San Jose, and then even like she was going into that match with who did she wrestle where she got injured? She broke her ankle.
It was Willow.
Yeah. So I mean that the injury really kind of set her back. So I mean I feel like if she had just had,
I mean, she doesn't break her ankle. She debuts in like 2022 when AEW was clearly like going down, but they haven't like hit rock bottom like they kind of have right now. Maybe it's a different deal because it's one thing to be like a big star when the company's not doing so great. It's another thing when you're a big star with when the company's sort of hot, and they were kind of hot at the end of 2022 or 2023.
Well, no, 20. Yeah. Were they hot at the end of 2023?
I mean, they sold, well, there's the jokes and stuff, but they sold a lot of tickets to Wembley.
Well, maybe she was around last year would have been different. I don't know. We'll see. Lastly, Mr. X asks, it still may be a little early, but any early prediction on who you can see winning the Royal Rumble on both the men and the women's side based on the current landscape of WWE right now? Oh, let's see. Bayley won this year. That's a good question. On the woman's side, who do you, or both sides, but the woman's side especially? I don't know who I see winning the Royal Rumble on the woman's side.
Chelsea Green.
Really?
Mainly because she's the only one coming to mind because her Celtic Warrior workout is on. But I mean, that would be a nice surprise.
I think Chelsea Green might win something else that WWE's introduced. Once we get there, yeah.
I mean, Rhea Ripley seems like the favorite currently, but I don't know how much you want to run that back again. Yeah. I mean, Tiffany Stratton, I know she has the Money in the Bank briefcase, but maybe she does. Something happens where she cashes it in and it doesn't work out, so then she turns full blown face and she has to try to find another way to get at Nia Jax, and that's the way to do it.
Who can they build? Like,
I mean, you could always push to the moon Stephanie Vaquer and Vaquer. I always. Whatever.
No, I don't think you want to do that. I think if we look at the main roster right now, I mean, I think Bianca and Jade will face each other at WrestleMania, so I wouldn't even equate them. I mean, there's a lot of players that aren't even around right now. Does Charlotte come back and just win the Royal Rumble? Does Becky come back and just win the Royal Rumble again? Alexa Bliss, does she come back and just win a Royal Rumble? Like, there's a lot of players not in the forte right now.
Rhea wins. Rhea wins. You get
Naomi?
Charlotte. You can run it back third time at WrestleMania.
Naomi's something. That's an interesting one. Does Nia lose the title and win the Royal Rumble to somehow get back? There's a lot of things like that to think about.
Io Sky.
Io Sky, that could be one. And then on the men's side, Asuka's gone too. Does she win the Rumble and come back and be a killer? Does Shayna Baszler get out of the group and become a killer?
What group?
The Pure Fusion Collective.
Okay,
yeah. Does she get out of that group, win the Rumble, and become just like a dominant killer like she was like 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago in NXT? I don't know. Then on the men's side, John Cena's announced that he will be in the Royal Rumble. Do they just pull the trigger and have big match John win the Rumble? He wins 3, ties the record with Austin.
John,
Kevin Owens could if he doesn't do anything, if he doesn't win a championship, can he win the Royal Rumble?
Goldberg
wins the Royal Rumble and faces Gunther at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sami Zayn, Sami Zayn could win the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns, what if he won the Royal Rumble? There's a lot more options on the male side.
Carmelo Hayes, even?
I think Carmelo final Big 6. I think that would be something for him, or he could be the Iron Man, one of those two spots. Not Final 4, but the last several, or he's the Iron Man.
Maybe Triple H, he likes his long-term booking. Maybe he already has his Royal Rumble plan laid out already. And then The Rock comes in after this little Christmas movie thing he's doing. He's like, you know what, Paul? I think I should be winning the Royal Rumble this year and face Cody at WrestleMania.
Yes. I mean, I'd love to see the final boss win the Royal Rumble.
Are we just gonna completely ignore what happened at the end of the pay-per-view because he showed up and then we don't even talk about him?
We'll talk about him when the Rock's ready for him to be talked about.
Almost like maybe the Rock just showed up because it fit his schedule and it didn't really coincide with anything WWE had planned. It seems pretty similar to something happened earlier in the year.
Or maybe maybe the appearance was planned since he left, and then we're waiting to see what happens this coming WrestleMania season. I mean, come on now. They don't do things just willy-nilly backstage at WWE. Come on now. Things are happening. All right.
Let's see. I'm trying to, I'm the degenerative gambler here. Currently, CM Punk, Gunther, Cody Rhodes. Is this from this year's?
CM Punk, yeah.
That was from this. That was from last year's. But whatever.
Phil's a possibility.
Obviously, Gunther can't win that, but okay. This is an old one.
We don't know that he may not be world champion by the time the Royal Rumble happens.
I can see CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Let's get in the SmackDown recap. The OG Bloodline is reunited. A lot happened, so we started off with Roman Reigns. He's out there talking to the people. Jey Uso's out there. Jimmy Uso's out there. They call out Sami Zayn. Sami says what he says his piece to Roman. Says the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And he thinks Roman loves him, and he wants one thing if he's going to be on their side. He wants an apology, but for Jey. What were your thoughts on this part of the Bloodline saga over the SmackDown?
Pronouns, pal.
Roman owes a lot of people a lot of apologies, so I feel like Sami was valid.
Yeah, and then Roman, so I heard a take, and somebody said Roman isn't a babyface. He's just a heel that has problems with other heels right now. Because I mean, we kind of saw over the course of Roman being back, the instances
almost like someone on this podcast said maybe Roman shouldn't really change his character. He should just be the same guy he was back in the day when he was, Tribal Chief.
No, nobody said he was just gonna change and be suffering succotash Roman Reigns and be the super good guy. Still keep the characteristics of the Tribal Chief character, but just have better intentions. But this was the closest we've seen to that maniacal, egotistical Roman Reigns that we have since his return. Like, why are you wasting my time with this fool? He's not family. This isn't about him. This isn't about us. This is about Solo. And then Jacob Fatu comes on the screen, prayer hands and all, holding the Ulafala. I love how Jake hasn't changed. The promos haven't changed. Letting Roman know, there's the tribal chief and there's everybody else. And you, Roman, are everybody else. And at the end of the day, we acknowledge one man, and that's Solo. And then Sami Zayn walks back, and then we get to the undisputed tribal chief ceremony with Solo, Jacob, and the Tongans. Roman comes out there, and Solo Sikoa, bro. In a serious role, he has made us laugh. He's goofy. Like the ticket thing. I got 2 tickets, one for me and one for him. I mean, just laughing at Roman. It's just funny, man. Roman challenged Solo to a 1-on-1 match. A winner becomes the tribal chief, gets the Ulafala. Solo's like, why would I do that? That's stupid. You know, you want to go to war, we can go to war. And then he basically challenges him to a 5-on-5 War Games match. Tells Roman to find 4 of the people because his 5th member is Sami. Sami Zayn walks out on stage. The Bloodline starts attacking Roman. The Usos run out there to save Roman. Then Sami Zayn runs down to the ring. And, you know, they have Roman in a compromising position like this new Bloodline has done over the course of these couple months. And it's very interesting. You know, Solo telling Sami, kick him. I want you to hit him. You know, the same way Roman Reigns used to command that somebody would be attacked at his behest, if that's a word. Yeah, it's a word today. There you go. Word of the day dictionary, toilet paper. Love to see it. Anyway, then Solo gets kicked in the face by Sami, and Jimmy J, Solo, and Roman all stand together with the ones in the air. Marlee, what are your thoughts on all that?
That was a good continuation of the Bloodline storyline and a good build towards Survivor Series, because this is A, personally what I've been waiting for, and B, eventually the point we were getting to. All of this cannot be solved on a one-on-one. It has to be solved in War Games, and I just think that Sami is the central piece to all of this, so I'm excited. I like it. I'm with it.
Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was overall good stuff. I mean, I really enjoyed the Jacob promo because this is like the first time he's really showcased to his voice, and I thought it was fantastic. You know, I've been harping on this a little bit, where the Bloodline seems like it's picked up speed in terms of like maybe rushing some things, because you know they started off at the beginning with the first segment, and then just magically Sami comes to and reunites with the Bloodline at the end. So I thought that was like a little rush, you know, but obviously you got commitments and dates and everything. You can't like, you know, stretch this out much longer. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, you talked about Solo. I think Solo has over these past couple weeks and months kind of grown more into his character. I mean, if you look at those days in NXT where he wasn't just the silent meanie that he was behind Roman, like he showed the same personality. Like it wasn't like as comedic and like fun loving as he kind of shows from, you know, time to time with the Bloodline, but he, you know, he's always had this kind of personality. And if you scour the internet, there's like funny videos of Solo just being an absolute goofball. So obviously this is kind of his personality.
The old Triller videos that went viral for a minute.
Yeah, yeah. The whole family, they're all goofy like that. But
Yeah,
five on. No,
I was gonna say Jacob's promo was also really good. I forgot to touch on that. That I actually had to stop in my tracks. Auntie and I were standing here watching it because just turned it on, got my stream to work, and we were like, "Wow, wow."
I mean, yeah, you spent a little bit limited time with Jake. I mean, he hasn't changed.
No, he has not changed. I was waiting for him to cut a promo. Actually, I was waiting for people to see, just like what we get to see, or what we got to see before he got signed. I'm excited for people to get to see that side.
Absolutely. But yeah, 5-on-5. So they put out a graphic with just 4-on-4, but you know, we'll talk about what happened on Raw. We got to see if they can get a fifth member. They were scouring for a fifth member. A lot's going on the 30th, man. Multiple bloodlines are going down on the 30th. That be up in Canada, then that be out here in the Bay Area. Multiple bloodlines are going down on the 30th. If you know, you know. Kevin Owens power drives Randy Orton. By God, that son of a bitch. That bastard.
It was it happened. I kind of mixed feelings on the angle just
Tell
because
us.
I don't like. I mean, the Bryan Danielson stuff, the Will Ospreay stuff of like, oh my God, this is real and he's really hurt. I just don't like it because it just takes you out of the moment because you know it's not real. It just makes it scream even faker. So it's like I think they went a little too over the top with it. But I also think they kind of sold it well.
But Brandon, that move is banned.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like, oh my God, this is banned. He shouldn't be doing this. So it just kind of that kind of echoes my point even more. Like it just screams out more that it's fake.
I will
That
say this. The regular pile driver is banned, but I've been watching people do Canadian destroyers on this show for like God knows how long, which is even more dangerous. But
like it
I'll give
seems
you
like
that.
it seems stupid and like whatever, but like if it was like a pile driver on a chair and like he takes a chair and just like wallops him like a bunch of times before the security and producers come out to stop him, and then you do the stretcher job, like okay, I'm not trying to say like, oh, I believe he was actually killed then, but it's like it seems more like an angle, and it's it plays off more of an angle than it's actually being real. That's kind of the point I'm making. Is like they try to play this off as being so real that you just obviously know it's not. Like Randy Orton's neck is not broken. Let's be honest. Come on, guys. We're not dumb. It's 2024.
I mean, we don't know what kind of damage that did to the L4. You know, just shot. I mean, just shot all the way up to the back. You know, he had that back repaired. All the damage of that power driver might have just shot right up into the surgically repaired back of Randall Keith Orton.
And that's the other thing. If it is real, it also takes you out of the moment, and it's like, oh my God, what is wrong? So it's like, I feel like there's no good way. It just points me back to the Bryan Danielson stuff. If you listen, the two people out there that listen to my AEW pay-per-view recaps, I hated it when Bryan Danielson would do that stuff. I'm gonna hate it when Randy Orton and WWE do that stuff.
Bryan Danielson, he's living a good life right now. He's selling saunas with his wife. Go buy a sauna, guys. Yeah. Something that Brandon, I know he's really enjoying. Nick Aldis unveils the Women's United States Championship. So talks about they're gonna have to earn it. Don't know how they're gonna earn it, tournament or whatever. Brandon, what do you feel about the Women's U.S.
I
title?
mean, I think you guys should already know what I feel about this. No new. Why are we putting
Oh,
more
I
new
got
titles?
it. I got it. No more titles.
No more titles. What are we doing here, people?
No,
Like,
yeah. I mean, this is one of the things that Brandon and I have really kind of always agreed on. Given like it's a big company and everything, like the number of titles that you have right now was fine. I mean, Marlee, before I get into my whole thing, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's nice that the women have another title to chase after, but you got two other titles that you could be building challengers for.
Like we don't.
we talk about this all the time. What is the women's division on both Raw and SmackDown? Like the Raw has Rhea Ripley as like the main competitor, so like it's being very heavily carried by that. You look outside of Rhea Ripley, who else is there? I think SmackDown's frankly like kind of a dumpster fire, especially with Nia Jax being the champion. But
Okay,
Nia,
hold on. We are not going to disrespect Nia Jax on this show. This is not a Nia Jax disrespect podcast. You take that shit over to Curveballs and chair shots.
I will say Nia Jax is probably like the best run she's had in her
Yeah,
career.
like don't do that. Don't do that.
But like if you had one title, if you had one main championship, one women's title, the WWE women's title, and then you have the United, and the other thing is like from a political point of view, why is it the United States? Like I understand like WCW hasn't been around for 20 plus years now at this point, but why isn't it the Intercontinental Championship? Unless
Well,
we're just
no,
gonna, let's be honest, we're gonna get the IC title on Raw in a week or two.
see that's kind of my thing. Like, do we have to just name it the U.S. title? Like, why? Why couldn't we think of something else? Like, we couldn't do like a network championship and just have it be a secondary women's title. If you have to do a secondary women's title, we can't be original with it. I mean, I don't like that they.
How about the Continental? Oh no, how about international? No, not that one. USA title. Nope, that's basically what they already have. But it's
I mean, because like, like they're doing the thing with the North American title and down at NXT. I mean, the North American title. I mean, it's been around for what, like 5 years. I mean, it has some lineage, but not like the lineage of like the US and the IC titles. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's working out great down there. I mean, Kalani Jordan, she did a fantastic job as the NXT Women's North American Champion. But like with this, like, why couldn't we think of something different? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we have to have,
what they really could have done? They could have just brought the women's North American title to the main roster and have people challenge for that.
No, I mean, given the landscape of the women's roster down at NXT, like that title needs to stay down there for like the Jada Parkers and the Lola Vices and the Sol Rukas. Build those women up while people like Stephanie Vaquer and Julia get runs with the NXT Women's Championship. But yeah, like we didn't need to make a women's US Championship. We could have thought of something different.
But
I mean, have the women go for the US title at this point.
I mean, like at least in NXT, like I know it's only 2 hours, but it's segmented, and the North American title is like the up and comers title, and then the NXT title is like the main people, and you work your way up. Now WWE, I don't understand. Like, what is the point of the US title? Like, I know I dunk on the women's tag division all the time, but at least it's completely different than a regular singles title. And that's okay. Like, that makes sense. But then why would someone choose to go after the United States title over the WWE Championship, which is on SmackDown, and that is the real, well, whatever with lineage and stuff, but that is the top championship in WWE for women.
Oh, it's the one.
SmackDown.
It's the.
I know, but it gets confused because there's like the Raw and SmackDown, and they had the.
So I'll listen closely, people. I got you. When they switched over the Raw Women's Championship to the WWE Women's Championship, that Raw Women's Championship was originally the WWE Women's Championship. So there you go. The lineage is still there.
There you go. The more you know.
Yeah. Boom.
And like even now, like what are the secondary women stories? Like
whatever Chelsea Green is doing. Yeah, that's basically it. Whatever Chelsea Green is doing.
I mean, you have kind of the faction stuff with stud line.
Not every story needs a championship. We can tell decent or compelling stories that don't revolve around a championship.
Here's a novel idea. You have two guys wrestle or two women wrestle to see who's better, to then the winner of that then goes on to challenge for a title. You don't always have to wrestle for a title.
Yeah.
That's something different. We haven't seen that in a hot minute.
Come on now.
What a concept. Number one contender stuff.
Yeah. Let's go inside the ring. Titus Alexander wins the West Coast Pro Championship in Japan, defeating Kevin Blackwood. Titus Alexander, two-time West Coast Pro Champion, one half of the West Coast Pro Tag Team Champions, first ever dual champion in company history.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Marlee, you spent some time over at West Coast. Did Titus come into any training sessions?
Came to a couple sessions. I would say that he is very much like his dad when it comes to training. He wasn't like a full-on coach, but he would nitpick on some stuff. And when I found West Coast Pro, he was actually champion. I came in the middle of his rivalry with Nick Wayne.
Yeah, so that was crazy.
The first show was the match in Sacramento before they did the tables, ladders, and chairs, I believe.
Yeah.
But congrats to Titus. It's nice to see West Coast Pro get that presence in Japan, and now with Titus winning the belt, it's considered a world title if you really think about it.
Yes, internationally known.
Doing big things for Northern California wrestling.
You love to see it for the Bay.
For the Bay.
Oh no, I was getting to Monday Night Raw. The OG Bloodline looks for a fifth member. So this was interesting. Sammy comes up to Seth Rollins and asks, for his help. And, Sammy was like, despite everything that I went through with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, that familial bond is still there. And I know you guys felt it, obviously talking about their days in the Shield, etc. And Seth just gives him a hard pass, and Jimmy Uso went up to Braun Breaker. I was like, that's interesting. And then Solo is outside with Jacob Fatu. Jake just prayer hands and all, and Solo wants Seth to be his fifth member, and Seth makes it clear to Solo the next time he's in the ring with Roman Reigns, he's gonna stomp his head in, and he would never team with a wannabe Roman Reigns. Marlee, what are your thoughts on all that?
There was a lot going on, but again, furthering the storyline. I feel like the fifth member on each team isn't going to be obvious. The only obvious choice I see for both sides, uh, Kevin and Cody, because it knocks out two birds with one stone. Kevin and Cody can settle the differences, plus the history with the bloodline and Kevin and Cody. But I feel like the fifth members are not going to be super obvious.
Okay. Brandon.
Yeah, it was a good show long story. The Braun Breaker one where they just cut to a commercial right when Jimmy was like gonna ask him the question, presumably, like that was weird. And then like we can't be a Triple H Raw or any show if we don't have like a random little snippet in the background with Jay asking Rey Mysterio and Rey turning them down. But yeah, I thought it was good stuff once again because coming out of SmackDown it was very confusing about the whole is it a 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 just because of the Solo comment about Sammy, thinking that maybe it was just like him trying to get one up on Roman, but no, it's officially 5-on-5, and it is kind of strange that they, unless if it is Cody and KO, like just kind of putting in Seth and Bronson Reed maybe, spoiler alert possibly. It does feel a little out of place, which is a little weird. Like the Seth dynamic is interesting, but like if it is Bronson Reed, I I don't know. It just kind of feels like he's just one of these things is not like the other. So
Yeah,
Bronson
that
Reed.
doesn't
That's
even
weird.
sound right.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't add up. Cody and Kevin would be the safe bets. Maybe Randy, but just if they are going to pick the fifth members, it would have to be people who were involved in the storyline along the way.
Yeah, that just wouldn't make sense at all.
Seth, kind of,
yeah. I mean,
but Bronson, absolutely not.
no. I mean, this isn't the '90s where we just get these random teams. It has to make sense nowadays. We have continuity nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about Gunther and Damian Priest segment. Out there talking trash to each other. Damian Priest, probably the best promo Damian Priest has ever cut. Can we say that?
I mean, I'm not exactly well versed in Damian Priest Punishment Martinez promos, but I agree. I thought this was a very good day for Damian Priest.
Oh, you just rattled off all the insults that he thought Gunther was going to give him. Talked about how Gunther has doubt in his eyes. Ludwig Kaiser comes out there. Ludwig gets dropped. Gunther's about to hit Priest, and then nope. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the segment. I thought it was great, adding like a new dynamic to Gunther's character of him losing that the big blood money match against Cody, so maybe his confidence is shaken, and it'll be interesting to the booking of this of whether Gunther gets his groove back and beats Priest relatively clean, or if he loses or he skates by the skin of his teeth. I don't know. So it sets up, I think, some good possibilities in a really solid, non-bloodline War Games match at Survivor Series.
Yes.
I do like this kind of uncertainty that surrounds Gunther because even with Cody's match and now with Damian's match, you kind of have this: can Gunther really do it? Does he still got it? Can he keep that same momentum that he had going for that long intercontinental title reign?
Of course he can. He's the ring general. Women's tag team melees. Bianca and Jade retained the tag titles. Bianca pinning Liv Morgan before it all breaks loose. Tiffany Stratton's out there. Naomi, Nia Jax, Io Sky. Just
Did I miss something? Because I kind of speed through Raw sometimes. Why Naomi and Nia Jax and all of them were there?
So the tag team title match is going on, and then I guess, what you call it? Nia has her beef with the tag team champion, so bring Tiffy along to help
So
her
she
out.
decided to jump on a plane and fly to Raw on her day off?
Yes,
Not on her day off. That's crazy.
yes, and then Naomi was there, for backup, and then Sky runs out there, and a whole lot's going on. So it's looking like Tiffany, Nia, Liv, and Raquel on one side, Jade and Bianca, Naomi, and Io on one side. Look, we don't have to do another War Games match. We could do a traditional Survivor Series match with this.
Yeah, I was not even thinking of a women's War Games match with this, but now that you said it, I was like,
We don't have to. There's not enough there for that.
I agree. I get it, equality and stuff, but sometimes we don't need a men's and women's match for every pay-per-view.
They can do it. They can do a traditional Survivor Series match. I feel like we should still at least have that on these shows. We start off with a traditional Survivor Series match, whatever it may be with the people, and we end with a War Games match. You can have a title match or two on there. Make it a 5-match card like we've been doing, and keep everybody happy.
Agreed. We do not need a War Game. We do not, because it just dilutes the match. It's like the Royal Rumble. Like usually I feel like we always say like, oh, the women's match was better or whatever, the first one is usually better because it's fresher. And so you don't want to take the umph out of the Bloodline War Games match later in the show just because you need it to have another 30 to 45-minute match before that.
With all the drama that's going to be in that, the umph won't be gone, trust me. Rollins and Reed brawl again. Bronson Reed's out there cutting a promo. Seth Rollins comes out there and he just runs and attacks him. They just start brawling again.
Damn, a Bronson Reed brawl who we'll never see that one before.
Those two.
Rawlson Reed? Put it on a t-shirt. You're welcome. You're welcome. I did it.
Thank you.
I need to be on the WWE merch team. I need to be in the room just firing off these ideas.
Yeah, come up with some designs that are wearable in public.
What are their designs not wearable in public?
I mean, everything that I buy from WWE shop is specifically Ripple Junction. They're like the only decent brand on there.
Really?
I don't even know the last time I bought a current WWE shirt.
Bro, I bought a Hurt Business shirt. It never showed up. That was like 4 years ago.
The only current shirt I have is Jacob's shirt, but I just have like Mankind, Stone Cold crew necks I wear all the time.
Have they released any I Love You Solo shirts?
Because Jacob wears he wore like a I Love You Brooklyn shirt a couple weeks ago, so apparently this is a thing.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna make different ones for different cities. Bro, just the I Love You Solo and the tribal font, money. That's the people will buy it. People love to say I love you Solo. They love to say it. Come on now. You know what I've been loving? The drama with the New Day. Kofi and Xavier continue to butt heads. Kofi was talking trash about Xavier. Xavier happened to walk up. Kofi gets beat up by Pete Dunne. By the way, I've seen the shot. I've seen the shot of the forearms. Not the best look. Not great at all. Not good. Yeah, not good at all.
I'm on WWE Shop. I hate that Fanatics just completely monopolized sports memorabilia. All these websites look the same, and it is just atrocious.
I'm sorry. I apologize. And then you get to Xavier and Kofi, just kind of butting heads again backstage. So, I mean, when is the 10-year anniversary of the New Day show? What day is that? Raw? Is that next week?
I feel like it's coming up relatively soon,
or the week after.
If not, I think it's no later than the first week of December.
Oh. Yeah, well, we'll have to wait to see what happens with that. And then the Judgment Day begin to crack. Dominic tells Finn, I've come closer to the world title recently than you have in a long time. And then Finn was like, okay, well, why don't you and Carlito go wrestle the War Raiders since we're all on the same page? So Interesting. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like a little strife kind of came out of nowhere. Maybe drawing the line with Dominic, Rhea, and Raquel, and then everybody else. So, but we go back to the Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley days, and like we were making the jokes like every single week they get into a fight and they just kiss and make up. So maybe we're just reverting to those days in the Judgment Day.
But they did that like every week. And yeah, so I don't know.
Hey, you got to start to then do it every single week.
Yeah, that's true. The Final Testament and The Miz attack the Wyatt Six. The Miz talks about how he's going to go ask for a leave of absence to Adam Pearce. The Final Testament and The Miz are all out in the ring. The Wyatt Six show up. Miz, it's a sucker plan. Hits Eric Rowan with a chair, and then the Final Testament leaves the Wyatt Six laying. This is another match where you can do a traditional teams of five. Or is there 5 people? Is there 5 people in this one?
I was thinking that earlier when I was watching
Karrion,
the highlights.
Akam, Razor, and then if you do Scarlett, Uncle Howdy, Rowan, Gacy, Loomis, and Nikki Cross. Yeah, you can do a teams of 5 strive to stay alive right here. And this one really doesn't have to be that long. You can this whole match right here can be like 10 minutes.
I would say 15 at most, but 10.
10, get in, get out, go home.
Give him 45.
No, that's going to be the Bloodline entrances. Yeah. So there's that. Any thoughts on this Final Testament Wyatt Six stuff?
Nice to see Miz is still alive after he got his neck broken, allegedly.
He's got it cracked, just a little chiropractic work.
What's him and Maurice got some good flexibility.
Excuse me?
What, they do like yoga and stuff.
Pilates stuff like that.
Hot yoga.
Hello. AEW happened. Ospreay calls out Kyle Fletcher. I actually watched this.
Maybe the most impressive spot of Will Ospreay's career is taking a screwdriver and just tomahawking it down, and it sticks perfectly in the ringside match, which was very impressive. Good thing it didn't bounce and hit the fan in the head.
I still think when Brock threw the microphone at Roman Roman caught it, that was better. But that's
wow. Always got to compare the two companies, Phillip. We're supposed to bring people together.
I mean, then Will Ospreay was talking about how he held his son's hand and he couldn't feel his hand. Use your other hand. While he was
holding the microphone in his left hand, which I was like, all right, come on, buddy.
He's got a son.
Yeah, with the
well, it's a whole thing. We've gone down this road before.
Have we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have, because then you say, oh yeah, because his ex, his wife's former husband passed away, and then Will Ospreay stepped in, and yeah.
So was that the deceased guy's kid, or is that his kid?
I believe it's the guy who passed away.
Oh, word?
I believe. I don't know.
Because he said his son was 6. How long ago did this gentleman pass away? Do we know?
Wasn't it like 4 years ago? It didn't happen like in 2020, 2021.
Okay, so
like pandemic.
Or did Will have a son with somebody else? And see, okay, but yeah, like just use your other hand, Will. That's you get to the bottom line with that. Like, Kyle Fletcher, and I was like, okay, I kind of see where we're going with this. I kind of understand the vision.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good promo. Good intensity. They kind of try to make it like not a shoot per se, but like bringing a lot of real life aspects to it. Ospreay like went very heavy on Fletcher, and like not burying him, but kind of like pointing out the obvious of like, you haven't done anything singles wise. Why should like we really care? Why should we like I be scared of you when I've done all these things? And I mean, I think like Ospreay's just gonna win the match unless Fletcher beats him clean or we get some schmallish finish, which whatever. But I don't know. Once again, I have mixed feelings. Ospreay is one of their top guys, and yes, you want to build a Fletcher, but I feel like maybe Ospreay could do something a little bit more than just wrestling Kyle Fletcher. But once again, it's gonna be a good match, maybe even a great match, maybe best match of the show. But I think Ospreay could still be doing more. Anyways, we got the MJF challenge. We had Roderick Strong defeat Lance Archer in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
MJF challenge.
Yeah, Phillip, come on. You gotta be paying attention to the product here. Roderick Strong and Adam Cole have to win their 3 matches, or else they don't get to wrestle MJF
Roderick
at the
Strong is
pay-per.
involved in this too.
We talked about this last week, that if they both get to 3 wins, then it'd be a triple threat match. Nice to see everybody pays attention to me when I do this AEW.
Hey, can Roderick Strong just go back and sign to WWE so Cody can check him off his list? Because Cody never got to check that one off the list.
Damn. Well, maybe Cody's got to come back home and go to AEW.
Oh. Okay. Takeshita defeats Adam Cole. So now what? Just Cole doesn't get the match?
Yeah, Cole. Very surprising. Cole does not get his 3rd win, so he's not facing MJF at Full Gear. So it's going to be Roderick Strong apparently.
Give it originality because they always win. They always get past it, and so I like that aspect. Okay.
I get it, but also like Adam Cole has not looked very good. Both with his tan, people have pointed out it looks like he has jaundice. Adam Cole's never been the biggest body guy, but he's not in like the best of shape. He's coming off of 2 major injuries in like the past 18 months. I teased it. I'm kind of selling Adam Cole stock right now. I am not. Adam Cole is not it, and I'm also not very high on the MJF stock at the moment either. So I feel like they should like move past this MJF Adam Cole stuff. Let's ignore that ever happened. Let's just let them do other things besides those.
Adam, come home. Come home. Go back to full. They're not in Full Sail anymore. But you get what I'm saying. Come home. I need to.
Full Sail still produces some things, so kind of like it's still kind of Full Sail.
I need to hear that shock the system again. I need to hear the Undisputed Era music again.
One of the dumbest things is at the beginning of this Takeshita match, Adam Cole and Takeshita are brawling. The bell has already rung, but yet they still played Adam Cole's music just so he can do the boom gimmick. And Takeshita took a powder, and then Cole was in the middle of the ring, and he got to do his little point boom gimmick, which I rolled my eyes out just so hard. It was so dumb. But
gotta get the gimmicks over, brother.
Exactly. I do wonder if there's like something behind the scenes with Adam Cole of him why he's not in this match against MJF. But anyways, we get Moxley and Orange Cassidy. They go back and forth, cut a promo. I mean, it's just more kind of like meandering, jumbled nonsense. I think from Moxley, just kind of speaking in riddles. And
how about Darby Allin jumping in the back of the truck and then getting his ass whooped by Claudio Castagnoli?
That's what happens if you try to go after Claudio. Also, shout out Claudio. Probably the best point of this whole promo is Orange Cassidy calls out Wheeler Yuta. They're gonna have a match next week, and Wheeler's like, "I'm not a pawn," and then Claudio just tells him shut up, and then Wheeler just immediately shuts up.
Shut up, Wheeler. I like Wheeler Yuta. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Wheeler. I think he's great.
I do too. And they did the thing of he isn't with the Death Riders, he's with Danielson, and they try to kill Danielson with the bag, and then now Wheeler's like the sacrificial lamb. They keep beating him up, and they keep like making like.
Was he the sacrificial lamb of the BCC?
Yeah, I felt like there was something there if Wheeler were to be going up. Like if this was Wheeler Yuta instead of Orange Cassidy as like the first opponent for the Death Riders at Full Gear, I think there could have been something there. Like to be honest, and then now maybe they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, and then trying to have Wheeler Yuta still turn face eventually, which I don't think that's going to work. It's like you try to kill a man, and we're going to try to feel sympathy for you. No, thank you.
Swerve defeats Lashley.
Or sorry, that was a typo. He defeated Leo Rush, and then there was a Lashley promo afterwards. They're in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which I had to look it up because I'm not brushed up on my Connecticut geography, unfortunately. And Swerve accidentally said they're in Stamford, and this just completely derailed the entire segment because the idiots, all 2,000 of them over there in Bridgeport, started chanting "This is Bridgeport" and chanting Bridgeport while Lashley is like beating down on Swerve, and Prince Nana takes a bump, and Swerve blades, and so the Hurt Syndicate stand tall. So, yeah, good job, Bridgeport. Stay classy.
Yeah, the Hurt Syndicate had a sit down with Renee Paquette, right?
It was just like a standard backstage kind of interview.
Okay.
Not on the script, but Mina Shirakawa and Harley Cameron have a match at Collision. One of the best segments of all time.
What happened?
I was going to say a lot of shaking. A lot of gyrating.
Who is this?
Hey, you put some respect on Harley Cameron. She might
She's
be
been out here at BTW, right? Yeah.
she might be she might be a Rampage Collision Warrior, but she's doing good stuff over there.
Honestly, her promos are hilarious. What she's been doing, I'm behind it. Her character work is impeccable.
Have you ever just wanted to say?
Let me see. Where's her stuff? It's not on the YouTube. Where's it at? Do I have to go on Twitter to find this?
I think so. That's where I saw it.
All right, let's see. Harley. Yeah, she was Delmy Exo, right? Or
I mean, we first started seeing Harley Cameron when we had QTV. You guys remember QTV?
yes.
When QT Marshall was doing that stupid TMZ gimmick.
Okay, hold on. You put some respect on QT Marshall.
I mean, I'll put some respect on QT Marshall. I'm not going to put respect on QTV that was taking up precious Dynamite minutes back when that was a thing.
Dynamite minutes.
Yeah, we had QTV. We had like 5-minute long QTV segments of them like making jokes about. I don't even know who they're going after, but they were just so dumb. Have you seen the titillating promo? I think Phillip has. In the main event, we have the private party. I don't know what the hell they're calling it. You win a match, you get to face private party at Full Gear. FTR took on the House of Black, and I apparently cannot type here because I got that backwards. I got my whatever things backwards, but the House of Black, the Kings of the Black Throne, whatever their name is, Malachi Black, after apparently he retired last week, is back, and he won a match against FTR. So Malachi Black and Brody King will take on the Outrunners, FTR, and then another team to be named later, which I think is taking place on Collision. So there you go. Some good in-ring stuff from Dynamite to close out the show. I think Phillip has gone down the Harley Cameron rabbit hole, and I think it's hard to pull him out.
This
he got
Black
locked in
defeating FTR is crazy. That's gonna do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long day for you, boy. You know, been coaching. You know, been enriching young lives. Did an interview for a local little TV show. Y'all check that out whenever it drops in 2025. Out here doing this work, doing God's work. Hello. That's gonna do it for us. Show's going on this weekend. King of Indies, right? Marlee, that's happening.
Yes, this Saturday, I believe.
This Saturday, at the West Coast Pro Training Academy.
Yes.
Go check that out. Still Hungry. The Thanksgiving canned food drive for SPW is this weekend. Go see WWE ID prospect signee Cartwheel Jack Summit. Go see him this Sunday on the 17th at Elk Grove at the World Soccer Arena. That's gonna do it for us. As always, be safe and stay dangerous.
Ain't nobody better. Look. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining the mind. If you feel it, our opinions is great. When everything we moving now with the state, turn us on. If the feeling is right, every opinion now comes from the heart. No time we move with a part. We on the radio, it's wrestling. Time's aggression. Here is the feeling in the proof. Get the lesson. And if you wanna prove it to you now, here's the feeling in the time and everything that we did. Listen to the senators connecting it. Moving on everything that's pronouncing it. Everything we did in the time now with the testament. Here is the feeling when we live on the stage. And everything we do, turning the page. Nobody does it like us. The feeling when we